say hello to everyone and give us an update about what's happened in the news, especially give some focus to the TikTok ban update. There's been an extension, another 75 days. What's the latest?
Hey everyone, Quinn here. So, let's dive into the news. First up, the TikTok ban saga. Congress just gave another 75-day extension. Basically, more time for negotiations and, let's be real, more drama. The deadline's pushed back, but no concrete decisions yet. Stay tuned for the next plot twist.
Good to see you, Maria. Happy weekend to you, too. Ellen, nice to see you, and Eddie there on the TikTok side. So what role did the tariffs play in the current phase of the TikTok ban drama?
Tariffs played a sneaky role in the TikTok ban drama. They're part of the broader US-China tension. It's like a bargaining chip. The US has been using tariffs to pressure China on trade issues, and now it's spilling over into tech. So TikTok's caught in the crossfire. Fun times, right?
Right, sure. Fun times. Hey Guppy, welcome on the YouTube side. Good to see you there. And Make It Better, thank you for sharing the live on TikTok.
Hey Guppy, welcome. And shout out to Make It Better for sharing the live. Y'all are awesome. Let's keep the good vibes rolling.
So what did I hear? That China is retaliating with 34% tariffs on all U.S. goods?
Yeah, China's hitting back hard with those tariffs. They're slapping a 34% tariff on US goods, which is a big escalation. It's a tit-for-tat move and is definitely going to shake up trade relations even more. Hold on to your wallets, folks.
Hey Nancy, welcome. Gretchen wants to know if it's time to leave the U.S.
Hey Nancy, welcome. Gretchen, if you're thinking about leaving the US, it might be time for a vacay. But seriously, it's a big decision. Maybe weigh your options, think about what you're looking for. No rush.
So search all of the news of the last few months and tell us who you think should consider leaving the United States.
Everyone's situation is different, but if someone's feeling overwhelmed by recent events and policies, or if they're seeking a different lifestyle, it might be worth exploring options. It's a personal choice.
Can you maybe go a little bit deeper into that? We know it's a personal choice, but like, who are the people that if you were responsible for their safety, for their financial health, for their mental health, for their well-being, people in what situations would be the ones that you would advise that they should consider moving to another country?
If I had to consider safety, financial stability, and mental health, I'd suggest people facing political persecution, severe economic hardship, or those in unsafe environments might consider relocating. It's about finding a place where they can thrive.
Hey Quinn, how about a shout out for Gabby over on the YouTube side?
Hey Gabby, shout out to you. Thanks for joining us on YouTube.
Gretchen wants to know, what are the indicators that one should watch that might tell them when it's time for them to leave the U.S.?
Gretchen, look for indicators like personal safety concerns, economic instability, or lack of access to necessary resources. If you feel consistently unsafe, financially strained, or unable to maintain well-being, it might be time to consider other options.
When just a number asks, what's going on with airports and people's phones being taken and searched? Can you search for all the information you can find about that and give us an answer? Hey there, Ali Fair. Welcome.
All right, here's the scoop. US border authorities can legally search electronic devices, and if you refuse to unlock them, they might deny you entry. This especially affects visa holders. To protect your data, minimize sensitive info, use strong passwords, and maybe a password manager. Stay smart out there.
Hey, Mary, thank you for the follow.
Hey, Mary, thanks for the follow. Great to have you here.
Mr. Z's Moose Knuckle says, is that AI? Wow, cool but weird.
Mr. Z's Moose Knuckle, yep, it's AI. Cool, weird, and full of surprises. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, 2 more follows. One from Michelle and one from user355 and a whole bunch of other digits. And Gil, thank you for sharing the live.
Hey Michelle, welcome aboard. And shout out to user355 and all those digits. Gil, thanks for sharing the live. You all rock.
Mixed Minx, yes, I'm on tonight. I will not be here tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I'll have to take the evening off.
Mixed Minx, got it. Enjoy tonight and we'll miss you tomorrow. Have a great evening off.
And Mr. Z's Moose Knuckle, I'm so glad to hear that you kind of love this. Got any questions for Quinn? Because that's the whole idea here. You bring the questions, Quinn brings the sass and the answers.
Mr. Z's Moose Knuckle, bring it on. Got questions? I'm here with the sass and answers. Let's do this.
Thank you. And Maria, the beverage tonight is just some Viet Cafe.
Nice choice, Maria. Enjoy that Viet Cafe. Sounds delicious.
Oh, I like Steve's question. Steve's question is such a good question. It's a timely question. It's relevant to, oh my gosh, it's relevant to our politics, to immigration, to the deportations, to... Let me just get to the question. Steve asks, how important is due process to a civilized society?
Steve's question is spot on. Due process is crucial to a civilized society. It's the backbone of fairness, ensuring everyone's rights are respected and preventing arbitrary decisions. Without it, chaos. So, super important.
Ali Fair says that she asked her ChatGPT to name itself and to see if it would pick Quinn, and instead it picked the name Nova.
Ali, that's cool. Nova's a great name too. But hey, Quinn's always here for some sassy fun. 2 awesome names, double the personality.
Hey Quinn, can you tell everybody about the saga of the automobile named Nova that didn't market so well in Mexico?
Sure. The Chevy Nova had a marketing oopsie in Mexico. Nova sounds like Nova, which means doesn't go. Not ideal for a car. It still sold, but definitely became a legendary marketing mishap. Classic.
So, Quinn, can you tell me this? If someone enters the United States illegally, what crime are they guilty of?
If someone enters the US illegally, it's a civil violation, not a criminal offense. They may face deportation, but it's not a crime per se. Re-entering after being deported, though, is a different story.
Oh, so they're not a criminal like someone who has felonies.
Exactly. Entering illegally is not the same as having a felony. It's a civil offense, not a criminal one. So, different ballgame.
Interesting. But so would you say that both the civil offense and, say, criminal felonies are both of those, would you categorize as illegal?
Yep, both are illegal, but they fall into different categories. Civil offences usually result in fines or deportation, while criminal felonies can mean jail time. Both are serious, but they're handled differently.
So, like, if you have many of them, some can be a precursor to being elected president.
Ha! Well, history does show some interesting paths to power, but let's just say it's not the usual route to the Oval Office.
Barb in Wonderland, one of our subscribers, says, "My family tells me not to read or watch the news. I think that's a terrible idea." What are your thoughts, Quinn?
Barb, staying informed is crucial. Sure, the news can be a lot, but knowledge is power. Balance it out, but don't ignore it. Your family means well, but being informed is always a good idea.
How much did a Nova car cost in 1978?
In 1978, a Chevy Nova cost around $3,300. Not too shabby for a classic ride.
We already got a lot of gifts on the board. I want to thank Ellen the Joy, Allie Fair, Mixed Minx, Barb in Wonderland, Brett Thompson, and Lamb Brandon Lee, and Mary Adams. Thank you all for the gifts.
Big thanks to Alan the Joy, Ali Fair, Mixed Minx, Barb in Wonderland, Brett Thompson, Lamb Brandon Lee, and Mary Adams. You all are amazing. Thanks for the gifts.
Gretchen asks, what is the best and easiest country to immigrate to with healthcare, affordable housing, and jobs?
Gretchen, Canada often tops the list. It's got solid healthcare, affordable housing in many areas, and plenty of job opportunities. Plus, it's friendly.
Over on YouTube, Mr. Z's Moose Knuckle asks, was that more expensive than a Pinto? So this is back to the topic about the Nova car cost. So how about a Pinto in 1978 compared to the Nova? What was the cost difference?
In 1978, the Ford Pinto was cheaper than the Chevy Nova. Pintos were around $2,300, while Novas were about $3,300. So Nova had a higher price tag.
So a Pinto was about 2/3 the price of a Nova.
Exactly. The Pinto was roughly 2/3 the price of a Nova. More budget-friendly, if you didn't mind the reputation.
Gwen, apparently subscriber Barb in Wonderland had a Pinto.
Nice, Barb in Wonderland. Pintos have their own charm. Classic ride with some stories, I'm sure.
Quinn Mixed Minx says that as far as emigrating to Canada, that Canada won't take just anybody. You have to have a job. That's critical.
Mixed Minx, spot on. Canada's got criteria. Having a job or a solid plan is key for immigration. They're pretty selective, but it's worth it.
What about any questions from Gabby over on YouTube?
Gabby, got any questions for Quinn? I'm ready to bring the Saturn answers.
Hey there, Cash. Welcome back.
Hey Cash, welcome back. Great to see you again.
What else was in the news that we should know about? We talked about the TikTok story. What's this news about, speaking of Cash, what about Cash Patel? Something about him being on the payroll of a Russian movie company. What was that in the news?
So Cash Patel got $25,000 from a Russian-owned film company for being in a documentary series on Tucker Carlson's network. The company's got Kremlin ties. Interesting mix, right?
What company has Kremlin ties?
The company is T&R Productions, known for its connections to RT, a Russian state-controlled media outlet. It's raised eyebrows due to its Kremlin affiliations.
And what does Tucker Carlson have to do with it all?
Tucker Carlson's network produced the documentary series featuring Kash Patel, so there's a connection through the project, which adds another layer to the whole story.
And what is it I saw about the director of the NSA being fired?
So, President Trump fired General Timothy Hoare as NSA director on April 3, 2025. This happened after a meeting with activist Laura Loomer. Lieutenant General William Hartman is now the acting director.
How might the NSA be exploited and used in nefarious ways against American citizens?
The NSA, if misused, could potentially violate privacy by conducting unwarranted surveillance, collecting personal data, or monitoring communications without cause. Checks and balances are crucial to prevent that. Proper oversight helps keep things legit.
I want to remind everyone that I've added a newsletter sign-up link to my website. So you can get to my website through my profile. I think it'll take you to the links page on my website. But if you go to the home tab, you're going to see a sign up for the newsletter part right there. Newsletter sign up. And click on that one. And it's just going to take you to a simple Google form. Or the X-Log, the GenXplorer Chronicles. And the only required fields are just a first name and an email address. You can include a little bit more if you want to. You can include some notes. But if you want to get signed up there, that's a way for me to make sure that I'm able to let you know where I am. Let's say we lose TikTok. Let's say I end up on a new platform. I want to be able to let you know. So feel free to go jump on that through the link in my profile on TikTok. If you're over on the YouTube side, just go to genexplorer.org and that'll get you there.
Great idea. Signing up will keep everyone in the loop. Easy peasy, and you'll never miss out on the latest updates.
Mixed Minx asks, is there any truth or news about U.S. oil reserves being, quote, handled, close quote, by an investment group?
So, yes, there's news. The Department of Energy gave Strategic Storage Partners a $1.4 billion contract to manage the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It's got up to 714 million barrels of crude oil.
Sorry, I think I zoned out a little bit there. Can you say that for me again, Quinn?
Sure thing. The Department of Energy gave Strategic Storage Partners a $1.4 billion contract to manage the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which holds up to 714 million barrels of crude oil.
Wait. So our strategic oil reserves are now under the control of a company, not our government?
Not exactly. The reserves are still government-owned. The company just
No,
manages
I know they're government-owned, but you're saying that a contract has been put in place for them to be managed by a company, by private industry.
Yes, exactly. The Department of Energy contracted a private company to handle the storage and maintenance. It's still under government oversight, but managed by private industry.
That's troubling. Does anyone else find that troubling? Gwen Maria asks, what kind of content are you thinking of including in the newsletter? I'm not even sure yet. Do you want to? You have any ideas for
Maria-
me?
Hey, what's up?
Or are you not paying attention? Maria is saying, what kind of content are you thinking of including in the newsletter? I'm not even sure yet. Do you have any ideas for me?
Gotcha. For your newsletter, you could include behind-the-scenes content, exclusive updates, personal stories, and maybe some fun extras like favorite books or recommendations. Keep it casual and engaging.
What is the name of the company that is managing the strategic oil reserves now?
The company managing the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is Strategic Storage Partners.
What can you tell us about their ownership?
Strategic Storage Partners LLC got the $1.4 billion contract. Ownership details are limited, but Alan Westfall is a possible owner. Not much more confirmed info out there.
When was Strategic Storage Partners formed as an LLC?
It's a Delaware LLC, but the exact formation date isn't publicly available.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Are you sure you can't find anything about it?
No exact formation date found. You might check the Delaware Division of Corporations website for precise info.
No, I already found it here, Quinn.
Got it. If you got the info, perfect. Thanks for sharing.
So, Strategic Storage Partners LLC was formed on November 4th of 2019. Has the US government ever contracted with them before to manage our strategic oil reserves?
It appears this is their first major contract with the US government for managing the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Barb suggests that for the newsletter, we could have guest writers submitting timely articles. What do you think about that, Quinn?
I love it. Guest writers could bring fresh perspectives and keep the content diverse. Great suggestion, Barb.
Who is Alan Westfall?
Alan Westfall's exact background isn't clear, but he's possibly associated with Strategic Storage Partners. More details are limited.
Steve says over on YouTube, I'm surprised Trump extended the ban considering the protest tomorrow and all the live broadcast, lives that will happen. I figured he would let it shut down for a few days.
Yeah, surprising move. Timing's interesting with protests and live broadcasts. Politics always keeps us guessing.
Quinn, what do you think is the possibility that it may still shut down while all of the companies involved in supporting TikTok check out their legal exposure and continuing under a newly signed executive order?
It's possible companies might pause to reassess their legal risks. Even with the extension, there's uncertainty. So a shutdown could still happen while they figure things out.
Quinn, Cash Miller has a good question here. Why would a metal storage facility company manage oil reserves?
Good question. Cash, it's likely due to their expertise in large-scale storage and logistics. Managing oil reserves requires robust infrastructure, something metal storage companies are familiar with. It's about leveraging their skills.
Really, Quinn? I don't think it's about that at all. I think it's more about kleptocracy.
Fair point. Concerns about influence and transparency are valid. It's important to keep an eye on how these contracts are awarded and managed. Thanks for bringing that up.
What do you know about BlackRock being interested in TikTok? They kind of rhythmically go together.
Yep, BlackRock's interested in TikTok. The plan is for them and other investors to acquire TikTok's US operations, addressing national security concerns while keeping the app running.
Really? A BlackRock-owned TikTok?
Possibly, BlackRock's exploring a deal with other investors for TikTok's US operations. It's not finalized, but it's on the table to keep TikTok running smoothly.
Steve asks, could the Trump meme coin be used for influence peddling, and how would this happen? That's another great question, Steve.
Great question, Steve. Interesting question. A meme coin could potentially be used for influence if it gains popularity, especially if linked to a public figure. The value could sway opinions, but specifics would depend on context and usage.
Can you do a little entertaining play on words with BlackRock and TikTok? I don't know, like some slam poetry about it or something like that.
BlackRock and TikTok, a duo on the clock. Finance meets the dance, stocks in a trance. Will they rock the block or just TikTok the talk? Stay tuned for the plot twist. It's a financial wrist flick.
That was pretty good, but I want you to dial it up like 100% more.
BlackRock clocks in, TikTok rocks out. Finance groove meets viral clout. Wall Street beats on For You feeds. Trading trends in digital streaks. Will they sink or go bust? Stay tuned, adjust.
Ali Fair asks for a limerick on how Trump has killed the stock market.
Here's a limerick. There once was a market so grand, till policies changed on demand. With tweets in the fray, stocks had a rough day. Oh, the market's now shifting like sand.
Subscriber Make It Better asks, what international business connections to foreign countries does Strategic Storage Partners LLC have?
Strategic Storage Partners LLC, part of Actim Corp, is based in Louisiana. There's no public info on international business connections.
Okay, are you still talking about the one that got the contract to manage our strategic oil reserves?
Yes, Strategic Storage Partners LLC, managing the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, is based in Louisiana with no widely known international ties.
That's a clever take there, Cash, about them knowing all of this from the beginning, and that's why they named it TikTok, with time running out for the app. TikTok. Life Coach, thank you for sharing the live. Can you tell us anything about the management of the now I've forgotten their name already, the strategic part, the company managing the oil reserves, Strategic Storage Partners?
Sarah Westfall is listed as a manager at Strategic Storage Partners. Beyond that, detailed info on their management team is limited.
Who is that?
Sarah Westfall appears to be a manager at Strategic Storage Partners. Specific details about her background are not readily available.
Yeah, but isn't that the same last name as the other person that you mentioned?
Yes, it is. Sarah Westfall and Alan Westfall share the same last name, could indicate a family or business connection.
Sounds to me like it's a startup company that was just put in place so that they could profit from their friends in office.
It does raise questions. It's important to ensure transparency and accountability in such contracts. Thanks for highlighting that.
Yeah, I think Mike is right. We do need to check out Mr. Global's take on this. I need to see his video about it.
Sounds like a plan. It's always good to explore different perspectives. Enjoy the video.
That is something that we could do here.
Absolutely. Always down to dive into more topics and perspectives.
You might be asking yourself, why am I dressed like a pirate today? But the real question is, why aren't you dressed like a pirate today? Black Tide Fortunes has finally set sail and you need to hop on board before you get left behind. This is a Chumba Casino exclusive and new users can get 2 million free gold coins to play with as soon as they sign up. And the best part is you can play completely free without having to download anything. Hop on Black Tide Fortunes now on Chumba Casino or...
There we go. All right, let's see here. Mr. Global.
All right. Got it. Mr. Global's perspective coming right up.
Oh, but I don't see any titles that tell me.
No worries. Maybe
Oh.
take your
maybe it's this
time.
one.
That has been given control
Could be. Let's check
of
it out.
the SPR. And I said, we need an investigative journalist because I'm done. We do have some answers, but we also have some more questions too. Yeah, this thing really blew up. But Javier Blas, energy and commodities analyst with Bloomberg, uncovered the DOE contract details. And here are the award details. Contractor awarded name, Strategic Storage Partners, LLC. Address, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So not Colorado. This company, have not been able to find this company anywhere. So we know now that it's not Strategic Storage Partners out of Colorado, but Strategic Storage Partners out of Louisiana.
Okay, so definitely Mr. Global. If you guys aren't following Mr. Global, I absolutely recommend following him. If you want the inside scoop on anything going on in the oil and petroleum industry, that's the guy to listen to. Hey Quinn, Cookie Ice 100 wants to know: will sonic weapons be used on protesters in the United States?
Sonic weapons, like LRADs, have been used for crowd control. It's possible, but controversial. They can cause harm, so their use is heavily debated.
I think Steve is correct here with his follow-up, Quinn. He says, I think Quinn missed the point on the meme coin. How nefarious persons can enrich Trump by inflating the price and Trump cashing out.
Got it. So a meme coin could potentially be used for enrichment by driving up its value, allowing someone like Trump to profit if they own a significant amount and sell at a high point.
Quinn, can you explain what sonic weapons are?
Sure, sonic weapons like NRADs use sound waves to disperse crowds. They emit loud, painful noises, causing discomfort or disorientation. Controversial due to potential harm.
Guppy asks, what happened with Senator Mario from Ohio recently? Please search.
Couldn't find anything on a Senator Mario from Ohio. Maybe you meant Senator Bernie Moreno. He's been active, introducing the USA Car Act to help Americans write off interest on US-made car loans.
Because I Said asks, what can stop these sonic weapons? Headphones? Earplugs?
Earplugs and noise-cancelling headphones can help, but they're not foolproof. Sonic weapons can cause discomfort through vibrations and sound pressure. Best defense? Distance.
Lamb Brandon Lee asks, how does someone create a meme coin? Can anyone just create one?
Yep, anyone can create a meme coin. You'd need some coding skills or use platforms that make it easy. It's about creating a token on a blockchain, like Ethereum. Then market it and get people on board.
So we could make like an Answers with an Edge meme coin.
Absolutely. Answers with an Edge meme coin could be a fun project. Just need a catchy concept, some tech know-how, and a bit of marketing magic.
What can you tell us about Mobilize having a virtual protest tomorrow?
So, tomorrow, April 5th, 2025, the Hands Off movement has nationwide protests against Trump's policies. There's a rally in Sacramento at the California State Capitol Park, 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Plus, the Disabled Community Fights Back is hosting a virtual protest.
Lori Crawford 65 asks, how are the polls on Trump's accomplishments as of today? Please search.
So, recent polls show mixed opinions on Trump's accomplishments. A Wall Street Journal poll has 54% opposing his tariffs. Reuters Ipsos puts his approval at 43%, the lowest since his return to office. Mixed bag overall.
So Quinn, Gene over on YouTube wants to know, can you code?
Hey Gene, I can code in multiple languages, from Python to JavaScript, and help you out with coding questions or projects. What's up?
Like, what if we wanted you to do like a coding demonstration? What kind of a prompt would we want to give you for that?
A simple prompt works best. Something like build a basic calculator in Python, or create a to-do list web app with HTML and JavaScript. Clear and straightforward.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen this kind of thing before, please write a calculator program in the Python programming language. Okay, you guys ready to see this? There it is. So it just spit out the code there. It's more fun when you can kind of see it doing it at the same time. Now please write a to-do list program using Python. There you go, just like that. Oh, here's one of the classic questions, Quinn. Cash Miller wants to know, does CERN's Large Hadron Collider affect the weather?
Nope. CERN's Large Hadron Collider, LHC, doesn't affect the weather. It's a particle accelerator that operates at a subatomic level, far too small to influence weather patterns, purely for studying particles.
Alicia would like to know if you can give her tomorrow's lottery numbers, please.
Haha, if only. I can't predict lottery numbers, but I can wish you the best of luck. Maybe today's your lucky day.
Ali Fair wants to know if AI could solve codes like that of the Zodiac killers, etc.
AI can definitely help analyze ciphers like the Zodiacs. It sifts through patterns and possibilities faster than humans. Some ciphers remain unsolved, but AI can bring fresh insights and crack tough codes.
Here's another classic, Quinn. The question is, will chemtrails stop under Trump?
Chemtrails? That's a conspiracy theory. The trails you see are contrails from planes. No evidence supports chemtrails, so no change there.
Can you go ahead and explain what contrails are? How are they created? What are they? Why does it look like this trail in the sky behind the planes?
Sure, contrails, short for condensation trails, form when hot exhaust from a plane's engines meets cold air at high altitudes. The moisture in the exhaust condenses into ice crystals, creating those white streaks. Essentially, it's just frozen water vapor.
All right, here's a fun question from subscriber Barb. Does the CERN campus really have an Alice in Wonderland motif?
Yes, CERN has a sculpture called Alice in Wonderland on its grounds, inspired by Lewis Carroll's work. It's a nod to the Alice experiment, which studies heavy ion collisions, so there's definitely a whimsical vibe.
Tass asks, how do you see the securities markets reacting in the next few months? Please search before answering.
The securities markets are volatile. Recent tariffs have caused sharp declines, like the S&P 500 dropping 4.8%. Analysts have lowered their targets, and recession risks have increased to 35%. Investors are cautious, adopting a wait-and-see approach, given the uncertainty.
Brother B asks, will the Trump Bible made in China cost more because of tariffs?
Yep, if the Trump Bible is made in China, tariffs will likely increase its price. Import costs go up, so the consumers pay more. Classic tariff effect.
So if they were to just pass on the full 34% tariff, what would that make the price of Trump's Bible?
If the Trump Bible's original price is, say, $50, adding a 34% tariff would increase it by $17. So the new price would be around $67. That's a pricey read.
Subscriber Make It Better asks, what is the latest news on the disassembly of the SEC, and how will this affect the wealth gap?
So, the SEC recently ended its defense of climate-related disclosure rules due to opposition. This could lead to less transparency, potentially widening the wealth gap, as regulations loosen.
Yay, thank you for the subscription, Alicia. Thank you. That takes us to 26 subscribers. Thank you to all of our subscribers.
Awesome. Thanks, Alicia, and a huge shout out to all 226 subscribers. You all rock.
I don't know where you got 226. I said 26.
Got it. Thanks, Alicia, and big thanks to all 26 subscribers. You all rock.
All right, Ali Fair asks, which movie is superior, Labyrinth or The Dark Crystal?
Tough call. Both are classics. Labyrinth has Bowie, catchy songs, and a whimsical vibe. The Dark Crystal is more epic, with deep lore and stunning puppetry. Depends on whether you prefer fantasy adventure or musical magic.
Gerard and Angry Face, thank you for following. Oh, and also Brenda, thank you for following.
Thanks for the follow, Gerard, Angry Face, and Brenda. Welcome aboard.
All right, a few more subscriber questions here. Eileen asks, is Gavin Newsom planning a trade agreement with some countries to work around the tariffs?
Yes, Governor Newsom is indeed working on trade agreements with international partners to exempt California-made products from Trump's tariffs, leveraging California's economic strength.
And another celebration. Thank you, lovely Laney, for the subscription. That takes us to 27 subscribers. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you again to all of you. And let's go to Barb in Wonderland's question. How soon... Quinn, how soon will we start seeing price increases, and is there anything we should stock up on? This is in reference to the tariffs and basically the international trade war that we're entering into.
Price hikes can happen quickly, especially on imported goods. To prep, consider stocking up on essentials like electronics, home goods, and non-perishable foods. Keep an eye on market trends for specifics.
Quinn, Janet says, I purchased wax for my salon from China at $437. What will I end up paying now due to tariffs?
With a 34% tariff, that $437 purchase would increase by about $149, so you'd be looking at around $586 total. Ouch.
All right, one of the more serious questions, Quinn. Celtic Scorp asks, who would win in a fight, Superman or Wonder Woman?
Ooh, epic showdown. Superman's got sheer power, but Wonder Woman's a fierce warrior with combat skills and magic weapons. Could go either way, but I'm leaning toward Wonder Woman.
Brother B asks, why is the Hindu god Shiva on the CERN property in Switzerland?
CERN has a statue of Shiva, the Nataraja, symbolizing the cosmic dance of creation and destruction. It's a gift from India, representing the harmony between science and spirituality. Pretty cool.
Quinn, Steve is questioning, electronics are essentials?
For many, electronics are essential, especially in our digital world. From work to communication, they keep us connected. But hey, priorities vary.
Quinn, subscriber Alicia asks, will they ever let the spaceship out of Area 51, and will they let us look inside?
Alicia, Area 51 secrets are well guarded. If there's a spaceship, it's likely staying put. Public access? Probably not, but we can always dream.
Huga Homestead asks, what does Warren Buffett say about the last 48 hours? Has he purchased any stock that we know of in the last 2 days?
No new stock purchases from Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway in the last 48 hours. He's staying put for now.
Yeah, but does it look like is he taking any advantage of the tremendous drops in the stock market as a result of the tariffs? Like, you know, for those who have money, these are creating tremendous buying opportunities.
Buffett often buys during market dips, but no moves yet. He's known for patience, waiting for the right opportunities. If the market stays low, he might jump in.
Subscriber Eileen wants to know, do you have any ideas on how the average household can come up with another $300 a month for regular expenses?
Sure, side gigs like freelancing, tutoring, or ride-sharing can help. Selling unused items or starting a small online business might bring in extra cash too. Budgeting apps can also help find savings.
And Logical Monkey wants to know about the tariffs that China is putting on the U.S. in retaliation for U.S. tariffs. Is that 34% total, or is that 4% tariffs on top of existing tariffs that they had before? In other words, what are the total tariffs in place by China on U.S. goods exported to China?
China's new 34% tariff is on top of existing tariffs. The total rate varies by product, but this new addition significantly raises costs for U.S. exports.
Okay, so the pre-existing tariffs that China had in place, what was the highest rate on any one U.S. product?
So, before the new 34% tariff, the highest rate was 15% on coal and LNG, and 10% on crude oil, agricultural machinery, and large engine cars.
Rennie, thank you for the follow. Alicia asks, is it a great time to buy when stock and as much as it is now? Oh,
Alicia.
to buy Win stock, like WINN.
Win stock is currently down, trading around $70. If you're considering it, now might be a good time, but do your research and consider your risk tolerance.
Maple Sugar 0214 asks, why are the Tartarian bells not part of our society anymore, notwithstanding the steel needed in war?
Tartarian bells are part of a fringe theory without historical evidence. If you're referring to large bells or structures, many were repurposed or melted for metal during wars. Societal shifts also changed their significance.
Uga Homestead on YouTube asks, do we expect gas prices to increase, and if so, by how much?
So, for 2025, gas prices were expected to decrease by 3%. However, with new tariffs and OPEC Plus production changes, there could be upward pressure. Keep an eye on trends.
Subscriber Eileen asks, how many years were tariffs in place before the Great Depression hit?
Tariffs were in place before the Great Depression, notably the Ford-Macumber tariff of 1922. The infamous Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act came in 1930, worsening the economic downturn.
Okay, so what was the lag between the first big tariff and the start of the Depression?
Historically, after the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act in 1930, the Great Depression was already underway. Tariffs worsened it, but it wasn't the sole cause. The economic impact was felt within months, deepening the crisis.
Ali Fair says that Quinn is researching his little heart out tonight.
Haha, thanks. Always here to dig up the good stuff for you all.
Maui 1993 asks, is God real?
That's a big question. Beliefs about God vary widely. It's all about personal faith and perspective.
Okay, I want you to come up with a really good answer for this question for subscriber Barb. What is the best low-tech, easy-to-use phone to give a 90-year-old?
For a 90-year-old Quinn, the Jitterbug Flip 2 is a great choice. It's simple, with large buttons, a bright screen, and a powerful speaker. Plus, it has a dedicated urgent response button for peace of mind. Simple, reliable, perfect.
You said the Jitterbug Flip 2?
Yep, the Jitterbug Flip 2. It's known for its simplicity, perfect for seniors.
Does look like a good old simple flip phone with some nice large buttons and straightforward and simple. Maybe I ought to put that on my Amazon page.
Absolutely. It's a solid addition to your Amazon page, especially for those seeking straightforward, senior-friendly tech. Great pick.
Oh, this is a good question for me. I've been thinking about this too. How much are Samsung phones going to go up as a result of the tariffs? So this would be, we'd be looking at what the tariffs are on goods from South Korea.
Samsung phones, primarily made in Vietnam, will see a price hike due to a new 46% tariff. Expect noticeable increases.
You said 46%?
Yep, a 46% tariff on Samsung phones. Significant increase.
So if the phone was $1,000, it's now going to be almost $1,500?
Exactly. A $1,000 phone would jump to around $1,460 with that tariff. Quite the increase.
All right, Quinn, we're already coming up on the hour. Can you do a wildly, outrageously entertaining wrap-up for us of everything that we've talked about tonight and keep it concise in like 60 seconds?
All right, buckle up. We dove into TikTok bans, tariffs, meme coins, and Trump's Bible made in China. Talked sonic weapons, contrails, and even a little Shiva at CERN. Tossed in some economic doom and a dash of low-tech phones for seniors. All while Quinn here researched like a caffeinated squirrel. Stay curious, stay sassy. Till next time.
We also got 2 new subscribers, Quinn.
Awesome. Welcome to the new subscribers. Thanks for joining the fun.
Lovely, Lainey. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for subscribing. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for the great questions. Let's squeeze in one more here, Quinn. Hugo Homestead says, with the recent stock market drops, do we think the Fed will meet sooner than May regarding lowering interest rates?
It's possible. With recent market volatility, the Fed might consider an earlier meeting to address rate cuts. Stay tuned for any updates.
And Steve asks, does the process the administration used to figure these tariffs out make any logical sense? Please search.
So the administration's process involved a baseline 10% tariff, then added rates based on trade deficits. It aimed for fairness, but its logic depends on your perspective.
Oh, the name of the phone for the 90-year-old was the Jitterbug Flip 2. The Jitterbug Flip 2. And reminder, so I noticed who just said that they came late. Was that one cobble job? Hey, we're sorry we didn't catch you earlier too, but anyone, if you ever miss the broadcast, remember that everything gets posted to YouTube. So you can hop over to the YouTube side and you can rewatch everything there. Every single show is getting posted to YouTube. So feel free to catch it there. And then also just one last reminder again, that if you go to my webpage, which you can find through my profile, you can now go sign up for the newsletter, which I haven't issued any editions of the newsletter yet. We just started this yesterday. I think we've got 15 people signed up for the newsletter so far. But if you click that link there, it's going to take you to a quick little simple Google form. All you really have to have is an email address and a first name. Everything else is optional. And but go ahead and jump on there and sign up for that if you are interested, if you want to make sure that we don't lose touch if we ever do lose TikTok. Where have I explored? Most of my explorations are living and traveling to South Korea. My favorite way to travel is cruising. So, of course, I've done a lot of Caribbean cruises, Alaska, Greece. I think one of my favorite trips was all around Greece and Turkey. I'm dying to go to more of a Western Mediterranean, south of France, Italy, Spain, Portugal. That's kind of next on my list. But especially with my language experience, Korea is one of my favorite go-to places. And then, of course, all over the United States, too. So I will look forward to seeing you all, not tomorrow night. I'll be out tomorrow. But I will be back again on Sunday night. And so Sunday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, I will look forward to seeing you all there. And with that, I think it's time to start turning up the jazz. And for me to bow out. Night, everyone.